Welcome to Hospitality Live with Rupesh. Each week, we feature an industry leader that will share the latest trends and the best strategies to help you grow. Now, welcome your host, Rupesh Patel.
Good morning, guys. Welcome. Somebody hit the like button. Let me know where you're watching from. Super excited to have all of you guys on. Guys, this is episode number 90. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 90 weeks. Like, it's been amazing to see so many people connecting, so many people watching from like all over the world. Guys, comment and let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to put you up onto the screen. All right, so we got Tracy from Jacksonville. Good morning, Tracy. We got Darsh from Bardstown. Good morning. We got somebody from India. Welcome. Good morning, Philippines. I love this, guys. Good morning to everybody. Today is a super exciting episode. Hold on, you guys are really quick. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. PA, Texas, Canada, Minneapolis, good morning. Canada, Texas, Houston, Egypt, Claremont, Florida, Libya, St. Louis, Canada, Toronto. We got some more folks from India. I love this. Guys, welcome to the show. Comment, let us know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from. This is episode number 90. Super excited. We have Jim Alderman, the CEO of Radisson Hotel Groups of the Americas. We're going to talk about how Jim went from 0 hotels to over 150 deals within a year and a half or less, which is awesome, amazing. And we're going to find out what his leadership habits are, because, we all have these habits that we keep ourselves going. I'm going to learn, and we're all going to discover how he keeps himself going. Also find out what's happening in travel for this summer and what his hotels look like as travel gets back to its groove, I think. Thank you so much to the sponsor this week. This week's episode is sponsored by, can anybody guess? Yes, smartguests.com. Somebody put the link so everybody can click on it. It is smartguests.com. With an S, remember that. Somebody put that in the link so we can all click on it, hit the bookmark on it. With Smart Guest, Smart Guest has over 4,500 plus customers now nationwide. Smart Guest helps you improve your operations, marketing, reviews, customer service, all of those things that you need to do right now as your hotel opens back up, with over 50 tools to help you increase revenues, keep your guests happy, turn them into loyal guests. Go to smartguests.com. Thank you so much. Here is the screenshot from what the website looks like. So if you didn't know what it's actually print collateral. It's digital tools that can help you boost your scores and really communicate what you want, including getting more reviews, which is like one of the top selling products. Thank you so much to smartguests.com. All right, every week I talk about a mindset. I talk about something that keeps me going. And I continue growing by just saying hello to people. So in hospitality, you know this and I know this, that, we're in hospitality, we say hello to people. And I posted this a couple of days ago. Let me show you real quick. I said, good morning, sunshine. This is 2 days ago. And I said, I'm that person that says hello to people. Do you? I would love to hear in the comments if you say hello, if you're that person that says hello to everybody you see in the morning. And I feel like it's hospitality 101, where you're really making a difference in people's lives. And, we all go through things in our lives, and, we don't know what's happening in people's lives at home. And, a simple way to connect with people is just saying hi. And I love that, we could do that. We can change someone's day just by saying, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? How was it last night? And that's including guests, your associates, so many different things. All right. So I'm going to find out who's this person like me that says hi every morning to people, even when I'm at the gym, getting in line with the crew that goes to the gym with me. I say hello to everybody. I'm like, hey, good morning, good morning. And I think that's part of, the mindset, not even mindset, that's part of hospitality. And I think a lot of you do. Elizabeth says, yes. She's smiling and saying hello. And I think that's super important as we continue growing. Laura says it makes a huge difference. It does. Like, consider you walking into a hotel lobby and you have the GM or somebody in management in the lobby connecting with guests that are walking in, either checking out or whatever the case is. And now you get to ask them, hey, good morning. How was your stay last night? What did you guys do? Anything fun? And, you build that relationship. And that's what hospitality is about. It's really connecting with people, and it's really keeping ourselves going. Because, it makes me feel good too, that I I'm that shy person too in public a lot of the time. So, to get myself out, I force myself to go say hi to somebody, even if I don't know them. And I did a lot of that at the whole convention last week. And, it gets you out of that fear factor of like, what are they going to say? And, the worst case, they're going to say nothing, which is okay, right? It's fine. If you say good morning to somebody and they don't say good morning back to you, totally fine. You did your job. And that's my mindset this week as we all continue growing. All right, let's see where people are tuning in from. Guys, comment and let us know where you're watching from. And Randy says, hello is the tagline for the Town Place Suite. I love it. I agree. Fernando says, absolutely. Peggy, good morning. Yeah, she says hi to strangers in the grocery store too. I think it is. And I like that Laura says, the 10-4 rule and it's 10 feet away. You kind of recognize them, and then 4 feet, you verbally say something. And I think it's super important that we all continue growing each other. Good morning, Scott from Charleston, South Carolina. All right. So that is my mindset this week. Go say hi to somebody. Go say hi to everybody that walks into your door, because guess what? You're making a difference. You can even improve your service scores just by doing this one simple thing, by spending some time in the lobby and talking to guests. No matter if you're the front desk associate, if you're a front desk associate or a supervisor, general manager, it's always been my thing to have a GM or somebody in leadership at the front desk or in the lobby talking to guests, engaging the guests. And guess what? You also engage with your associates, and that builds your entire team. That builds the hospitality part of your business. And I think that's super important. If you guys agree, somebody hit the like button. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Ray from Texas. All right. So now I have a huge announcement, and I'm super excited about this announcement. It is at 4 p.m. today. I alluded to this yesterday on LinkedIn. So if you're not following me on LinkedIn, somebody actually go to I made it actually a super easy way to connect with me on LinkedIn, and you could do the same. I actually went to GoDaddy.com and bought a domain for $1. So your first domain could be $1. And I made it forward, and this is free. Like, you don't have to do anything besides buy that domain for $1. Is forward it to your LinkedIn profile. So for my domain, easy way to connect with me on LinkedIn is I always say, hey, connect with me at rupeshlive.com, and that goes directly to my LinkedIn profile. Right? Simple. So you're not going through the hassle of searching for somebody's name or that person's name. You have a great way of connecting, and so I love that. And so today at 4 p.m. I am giving away $1,000 as a contest that I'm announcing today. I'm not giving it away today. I'm announcing it today, and this contest is going to go on for a couple weeks, and I'm super excited to partner up with tipu.money. And so what they do is it's digital tipping, right? I don't know if you already use it at your hotel or you've seen it. A lot of times we don't have cash in our pockets, and we're like, I want to tip you, but I don't have anything, right? Or you have this $50 bill, $100 bill, and you're like, do you have change? And they're like, no. And then it gets cumbersome. And so I have partnered with tipu.money. I can't wait to announce the contest at 4 p.m. Please join me on LinkedIn. It won't be a live, but it'll be something fun. And I'm super excited about that. All right. So Sarah said she was going to be on in a minute. And let's see. Let me see if she's on real quick. And guys, comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me see if I can pull up Sarah and see if I know she has an interview. She's doing something live with a television station in, I think, Alabama, that she's doing a live. Let me see. Are you back? All right. So we're going to wait like one more minute. If she's not on, we'll do Hospitality Minute a little bit later in the show. All right, so today's guest, I'm super excited to talk to him. We've been following each other for quite some time. I see all the fun stuff that he does and all the exciting stuff that he does. I even met him at the Hunter Conference last week, and it was so exciting to see that hospitality is back and meetings are back, and I love that we can connect with each other and keep it going. So hold on, let's see. All right, Sarah's probably going to come back a little bit later today and jump on the Hospitality Minute. Let me see if we can go ahead and introduce our featured guest, and maybe we'll do it with Jim on too. So hey, good morning. This is the CEO of Radisson Hotel Group of the Americas. Good morning, Jim Alderman.
Rupesh, how are you?
I've had 4 cups of coffee. And I sound like I am a freight train just running through.
Yeah, I actually got the carrier this morning. Did the whole. I had a fleet of drinks to get ready to keep up with your energy, brother. I tell you, it's I had to prime myself, but I'm ready and super excited to be here. And I got to tell you, just from the very beginning, we all sought out, how can I stay connected? And you set a model, of really how to be engaging. And it takes an engaging personality like yours to be able to, capture the audience that you've captured and grow the way you've grown. And it's amazing. You were an inspiration. Every time I turn, I'd see a different mic and be like, what is that mic Rupesh has there? And check into that, and it's been great. I still haven't figured out the magic formula, but we're gonna also do. We're piloting right now like a YouTube type of series or LinkedIn, something like that, where we can do a little something special with our owners. And so we're working on it. It's in its infancy stages, but part of the impetus for doing that is watching your show. It's been such a joy to see someone so engaged with hospitality and reaching out and getting, such, not me, but some of the other people you've had on this, I look up, I'm like, wow. You really got a lot of people engaged in this. And it was great to see you at the Hunter conference. We had over 1,000 people. It didn't seem, like it was too overwhelming. Of course, it was a pretty big hotel we were in.
Yeah. It was huge, and it was so much fun, and it was fun to see all our friends together, and this is what hospitality is about. It's really just making connections and really, sharing your story. And I love that you guys do that. Sarah's back on. Jim, would you like you? This is
I'd love to watch the magic happen live. Yes, let's do it.
Listen, let's give Sarah crap too, because I think she
was. Wow. Oh man, I was missed it by 30 seconds. Goodness gracious.
So give the backstory. Sarah had a live interview with.
I had a live interview with Birmingham, Alabama, and it was a WBRC, and so it was right at the hour or at the 30-minute mark. And we were just a hair late. They were a hair late getting started. So I was a hair late coming back on. But,
I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, we have hospitality minute.
Oh my God.
Okay, Jim's gonna watch you do your thing. Oh. Guys, here's Sarah Dandashy with the hospitality minute.
Hi, I'm Sarah Dandashy from Ask a Concierge. Every week, I'll be sharing the latest hospitality and travel news and updates in a segment we like to call Hospitality Minutes.
All right, Sarah, tell us what's going on in hospitality, because there's so much that's changed, so much that's new, and I feel like every week things are changing drastically, and I love it.
Totally. Yeah, no, there's a lot changing. And especially recently, the biggest thing obviously last week were the revised CDC guidelines in regards to masks. And I know that obviously has been a big thing that has really what we've all been concerned with, but definitely within the hospitality industry. So, the biggest thing right now is the hospitality industry is revising sort of mask guidelines. So just recently came out our dear friends, Chip Rogers of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, basically was saying that in regards to these changing CDC guidelines, that was saying that fully vaccinated people no longer need to wear a mask or physically distance in most settings. They are now modifying their safe stay guidelines, which will kind of relax mask requirements for guests who are fully vaccinated. Right now, we're still kind of seeing just how things will play out before they might change their guidelines in regards to employees. But this definitely is a huge move, I think, a step in the positive direction for people that were still kind of itching to get back out there. But this is a big change and a big shift, certainly within the United States. So I will say that. So next topic, there's a new report that is highlighting the hotel industry's comeback. So according to Demand 360 business intelligence data from Amadeus, which we're so all familiar with. Hotel occupancy levels are on the rise. Occupancy around the world, so globally, is reaching about 46%. This was just in April of 2021, which is up 13% from April of 2020. Not a huge thing, but we do have to keep in mind two big things to keep in mind is A, it's going up globally, but B, I know, and I keep stressing this, I've stressed this so many times, that we in the US are in a very different position than around the world. And we have to just keep remembering the global perspective and that, yes, it's feeling really great here, but if we are going to be traveling, we have to understand the destination and where they are in regards to their vaccine rollout and whatever infrastructure they have as well too. But the most important thing is that things are going back up. So, this is great. This is definitely a step in the right direction. And then our last little topic here, I thought this would be fun because, again, what are we all about in the hotel industry? We like experiences. And this was kind of clever what they're doing actually in New York City. You can actually now stay overnight. They have the Friends experience. So if we're all familiar with the TV show Friends from the late 90s and early 2000s. Oh goodness. They have actually designed this experience. It's a 2-story immersive space, and they've basically recreated the 2 apartments from the TV show, and people are going to be able to stay overnight. So it's like a little mini hotel experience. By the way, this rate is $1994 a night. So I don't know where, I haven't seen a rate like that in a very, very long time, but I think it's really clever what they're doing. So, and they're only doing it for 2 nights, May 23rd and 24th. I just thought it was great because I love, again, that we're doing something creative in the hospitality industry and encouraging people to get back out there. So hopefully that inspires you.
Sarah, would you stay?
What would I stay?
Would you stay? Would you stay at that Friends hotel?
100%. And I would be like taking photos the entire time. Are you kidding me?
What if one of the cast members, I forgot, Lisa Kudrow, came on, like surprised you as you stayed at the hotel?
Oh, we're going to play the game of what if? Okay.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
It would be so cool. Although, I mean, you have to keep in mind, I do live in Los Angeles, so my paths may have crossed with a couple of the cast members once or twice over the course of my lifetime.
All right, tell us which friend did you actually run into in LA? You know, I'm sure you know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, for sure. David Schwimmer. He lives near, oh my gosh, now I feel so silly. He lives near Hancock Park, which is an area that I used to live by, and they have this really cute village called Larchmont Village. And it's basically this old Hollywood area. It's just south of Paramount Studios. Now I'm giving you guys a whole tour. But he actually goes shopping there, and they have a really cool farmer's market. So I have seen him there. Okay.
Well, it actually sounds like you're stalking him.
Oh, no.
Sarah, we love you. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me everywhere as Ask a Concierge. Or you can always head to my website, askaconcierge.tv. So, or connect here on LinkedIn as well at Sarah Dandashy. So let me know.
Jim, would you stay at that hotel? The Friends?
I would, absolutely. And it's funny, the only one that I've run into also was David Schwimmer. It was actually at a hotel. It was at the Mondrian when it opened in LA.
Oh my God!
Within the first month out at the Sky Bar, when that was the place to be, and the only way for mere mortals to be there is you had to stay in the hotel.
No way!
Oh okay. Yeah, it was hilarious because you couldn't. I mean, we were truly. I mean, when it opened, we were just very, very young, bunch of folks in the industry, but we all decided to stay there because we had heard it was hot. And this was before you could really find out if something was that hot, but with something that Ian Schrager opened was that on fire when it opened. Rupesh, I mean, every table had stars at it. And then there was this group of hotel, it was me and my friend, so a bunch of clowns. And, so we're sitting there. But Sarah, we're inside, and literally at the door trying to get in was a celebrity that the bouncer didn't recognize.
Oh no!
Yes, and I did. I recognized it. I looked.
Was it Mr. T? Was it Mr. T?
No, it's actually Mr. T would be great, but this is kind of even funnier because of the irony of the situation. The guy that said, "Who are you? How would I know you?" And it was. One of the underwear models or whatever. And he goes, well, I'm on that sign right there.
What was it, like Mark Wahlberg or something?
No, it was oh God, it was I forgot Antonio. I forgot who it was, but he was literally on the sign in underwear above the monitor. He goes, well, that's me right there.
That's me. Let me pull up my shirt, do my abs match.
So
Antonio Banderas.
no, yeah, it wasn't him, but it was someone. But it was someone famous who was literally on the sign above. It was
my gosh. That is such, by the way, a classic LA experience. That is so like, and I live just down the street from the Mondrian. So that is like that's my stomping grounds on a regular basis. So funny. I love that.
Well, Sarah, go back to stalking David Sugar.
Great to see you.
We'll see you next week. Thank you, Sarah.
All right. Have fun.
See you soon.
Sarah's awesome. Guys, if you love Sarah, somebody smash the like button right now. And thank you for being on every week. I love it. Thank you, Sarah.
I love it too. Thank you.
Bye. All right, Jim, we got you on. We're talking to the CEO of the Radisson Hotel Group of the Americas, Jim Alderman. Now, Jim, you have 34 years of experience in the hospitality industry. You've been to many different, or you've worked at different companies, and you've worked at some really amazing companies. And I love that you've been in the industry for so long. What's one thing that you continue using to this day that you've learned a long time ago?
You know, it's funny enough, but I actually still have my original Rolodex, and a lot of time with the one with, you know, you hand write on the cards or you print them out. And attach them. And so I still hang on to that because I still try to keep, I think that if there's any secret sauce, I try to keep in contact with everyone from the beginning of my career on. I still talk to people I met the very first deal I did. I still reference the very first hotel deal that I ever worked on. And I was just a real estate appraiser back when I got out of college, but the very first hotel that got me interested in the business. And it's stay in touch. And it's actually just so much easier now than it ever was before. But you know, connections pay off. You just never know. You can shortcut days and days worth of due diligence by just knowing the right person in the right town. And you know that, and you see that from the conferences that we just went to. It's they're gold, and they're worth more than money ever will be.
Absolutely. And so that's a mindset right off the bat is, you know, your connections, it doesn't matter what you know, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't have the right connections in your life and in your career, you can't move on. You can accelerate you. And I love that you have done this. And what are some tips that you to share with folks that are watching? How do you go back and do you reach out to them? Do you message them? How often do you do it? Because I think that's an art.
You know, I try to make sure it is usually with something relevant. These days you can find something relevant to talk about, or just to stay up to speed. You know, these days, you know how fast someone changes their LinkedIn profile that they have a new position. So to reach out and say, hey, you know, and you know, someone that worked for you, worked with you, or you worked for, to reach out and say, hey, congrats, how have you been? You know, just reaching out for something relevant. Fortunately, nowadays I can reach out to most of my contacts and just talk about what's going on in Clearwater, Florida, what's going on in Orlando, what's happening, you know, why so much activity in Sanford right now with the Super I-4. Let's talk about that. You know, let's talk about, you know, the world's biggest gas station near, you know, your hotel in Daytona. And there's the topics are, it's so much easier now that reaching out is natural. I mean, if you know, find a reason that you want to be talking to this person and reach back out, and don't let it go stale. And, you know, and don't do it when they were, you know, just promoted to some unbelievable position because you're looking for something. Make it a natural cadence and try to stay in touch with them. But it gets tough after 34 years. You can imagine there's a huge amount of people. But I like to try to be as accessible as possible, which, as you know, for someone as accessible like you you need to be tireless. That's like you said, you need to keep the fuel going and always be ready to talk, always be ready to engage. I think is like you said, I by the end of the conference, I can feel I'm almost tired from the smiling. I'm a smiling type of person. People who know me know that that's generally my disposition. And I am that same person you said that says hello in the morning. And I almost always get it back. You know, it depends on what part of the country you're in and maybe what time of day. But, you know, I agree with that, you know, kind of some role models of mine that some of the best people in the business, the Muir brothers, used to say, you get up and you look in the mirror in the morning, you say, today is going to be a great day. And that's always stuck with me from the first time I heard of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you alluded to how you got into the industry. How did you get into the industry? Were you dreaming about being the CEO of a major hotel chain as you're going through college or as a kid?
No, what's interesting enough is I wanted to start to work as soon as I could. I mean, I wanted things that, it was materialistic 13-year-old. I wanted things that I didn't have. And so I asked my parents to let me go to work when I was 13. And as we all know, from those who started off in a family business in a restaurant, or those who just start off in a restaurant, there is a positionally that's almost one notch below dishwasher, on the food chain, which is kind of utility boy. I wouldn't say utility man because I was 13 and a half years old, but it was not regular dish, but pots and pans and scrubbing and toilets and cleaning fish tanks and things like that. And from that, you would think, God, why would that get you interested in the hospitality business? But I was really more interested in the restaurant business at first. So I worked my way to restaurants up until college, and then in a conference center in college that was on the campus of Florida State University. And then I got interested in the hospitality business. The conferences that we would host, we had to go through a background check one time because Vice President Bush then was coming through. I'm dating myself, Rupesh. This was 1985, 84, 85. But yeah, it's I really loved coming up through that side of it, the camaraderie of working in a restaurant or the back of the house in a hotel. Kind of builds a unity and a teamwork. And I played sports. So I love the idea of this team. We're all on this same team. And I just love that level of camaraderie. I also do remember when you read Anthony Bourdain's book, his first one, Kitchen Confidential. I do also fully admit that working in certain kitchens is a bit like working on a pirate ship. There's a lot of characters back there and it's very colorful. So be careful to allow your 13-year-olds to work on a pirate ship like I did, but teaches it advances their educations in certain ways that you may not want them that advanced in that direction right away. But it was a lot of fun. I worked I got a degree in real estate and started doing appraisals, and the most difficult ones you could really work on were hotels. Especially back then. And so I worked on the first hotel deal I worked on was the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami, Florida, long before IHG bought Intercontinental, but they were Holiday Inn and they were in Memphis then. But worked on that. It was going back to the lender, to several lenders, and so I saw all parts of a transaction. I saw a deal going bad. I saw a landmark hotel being built, which has bookend travertine marbles, one of the most gorgeous hotels on the point there in downtown Miami. But from there, worked on a few hotels. Did a lot of work on hotels in China for John Portman's kind of empire when things went bad in the RTC days, and really just I kept working on hotels till one day Holiday Inn wanted someone who had some experience in valuing hotels and hotel real estate, and they gave me my shot on the brand side of the business. So I went there in 1994. So that's when I fully dedicated myself to the hotel business in 94, and really haven't looked back since then. But as you did point out, I've had a number of positions with a number of companies, and some of them really great companies.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've worked for Wyndham. I think you've worked for Starwood Capital. You worked for IHG, Ernst Young. You were the ESA for Kimpton Hotels. What did you do at Kimpton?
Kimpton, I was there twice, actually. I followed my old boss there the first time and ran the eastern half of the country for him. And then the second time I went through, did the same thing. And then he sold the company. They sold the company to IHG. And so it was IHG for a second time, then by proxy through Kimpton. And I became the chief development officer there and had quite a interesting run there. From there, I did go to ESA, where it was even more interesting. It's going from some hotel ownership to almost 100% hotel ownership. When I got to ESA, we owned 100% of our hotels, and we're not in the franchising business. So that was a real different thing to get them into the franchising business for the first time. It was kind of fun.
Oh, that's really cool. So for those that don't know what ESA is, it's Extended Stay of America.
Yeah.
I just love the story. I love that you started, where a lot of hotel CEOs, they start at the ground, at the ground zero, basically, and learning their way up. And I love that you did that where, you were in the kitchen, you got thrown into different situations and you grew up quick. And I love that, leaders of hotels, they understand, like, I've done the same thing. I've washed dishes, drove the shuttle van, did housekeeping for years, front desk, all of those things, which keep us humble. And we know, like, when we're saying to go do these things, you already know how they feel because you've been there, and you know how to say it properly and explain what it is, because you've had a boss in the past where I've had it too, where they just yelled at you and then they told you what to do, and that never worked out, and then you didn't have a good experience working in that position. So I love that you as a leader continue growing or continue leading with that experience in your back pocket, right? Now I hear that you built an empire from 0 hotels to over 100. I think it was 150 hotels within like a year or a year plus. How did that happen?
That was at Extended Stay America when we had owned the estate the entire time. They sold about 50 hotels before I got there to Westmont, which became the foundation for their hometown inns and suites. In fact, the Extended Stay actually sold them the brand as well. And they sold a bunch of their hotels. They had a sub brand called Crossland. But when we got there, we started the franchise business. And it's, looking back, if everyone could look back with hindsight, we'd have sold 3 times the amount of franchises, because everyone knows how well the Extended Stay sector in whole in total did during this pandemic. I mean, to be able to, kind of sequester yourself to a room that had a kitchen made all the sense in the world. So, they did extremely well. But no, it was just, it was the product. I mean, it was a product and the great team we put together. We just ramped up really quick with number of franchises we got going. Now, granted, it was a little bit of eating your own cooking and complimenting it, because we sold 75 hotels and then refranchised those, and then took commitments from those people for a great deal of hotels, and then had a lot of natural organic growth signed up as well. So, and then we built close to 20, I think maybe 16, and then stopped when we were at ESA. So one of them near one of your hotels. They did one in Ormond Beach. I got to say they now. I'm proud of what we did, because I put the team together, but
sure,
that's them, and this is different. And we're changing things here as well. We had our best quarter at Radisson in the first quarter, and I can say this because we're not public. We had our best growth quarter that we can measure going back to at least 2008, maybe 2004. This first quarter at Radisson, for the amount of hotels we did, and we did a lot of full service Radissons, which is really, really fantastic to grow that brand. And it's got such a storied legacy that, that's what we're focused on, is really having extraordinary growth to the point where we don't even want to have a comparison to be measured. We want to have extraordinary growth, and we've put a great team on the field of my colleagues here.
Yeah, and then let's get into Radisson, because you're the CEO of the Radisson Hotels of the Americas. And listen, I have a deep connection with Radisson, and you know why?
I know.
My sister got married and had her entire Indian wedding. Those big Indian weddings? We had it at a Radisson.
Oh, that's great.
In Miami. And so Radisson's always going to be in our hearts, because they took care of us and they did everything that they could to make sure that even through a hurricane, we had like a small hurricane come through during my sister's wedding, and they were amazing. So I will always remember and be thankful for Radisson, that entire team that made us feel special and had created these amazing memories. Now, with over 680 hotels now in the portfolio at Radisson, what does it look like now as you guys continue growing?
We're seeing a lot of opportunity for us is really in the conversion. The new build pipeline, as in this country, is 75 to north of 80% is really Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, IHG, Choice, and Wyndham. And so we are really trying to get into that group and get a share of that. I've been at those companies. I've seen how it's done, and that's why we've really put the right team together to go and get that kind of growth. But where we're seeing the most is full service, which is surprising. I thought it would be in limited service, but in full service hotels, people shrinking, in some cases, shrinking the size of the hotels a little bit, doing some alternative uses. But we're seeing a lot of opportunity within the Radisson brand, which we love. And the Country Inn and Suites brand, we're doing a lot of work on that right now, because I want our franchisees to be raging fans of the brand. And so when I got here, we put together a franchise advisory committee, which we had never done before, and to reach out and really get the voice of the owner, and because that's the most important thing. I mean, I've been an owner, I've built. I've bought, I've sold, and I've been on those sides. So I feel like I can have the empathy to try to understand. Owners want ROI. That you take cash flow to the bank, and we want to be there to help increase, the efficiency of the hotel, so the owners can do better for themselves and continue to grow. And so we want to make really an owner-centric proposition in all of our brands, but it's really important to do a little work on Country and see where we can modify some of the go forward operational costs, because that's where we're going with labor, where we're going with breakfast. I mean, there's a ton of our guests want the full hot breakfast back, and of course as owners, a lot of us say, yeah, that would be nice, but it'd also be nice to keep that on hold. But I did notice in a hotel 2 weeks ago when I was staying in, hot breakfast on some of the brands are back. Some of them are doing it a different way. Some are preparing it for you and handing it to you. Some of it's the prepackaged stuff, but it's definitely coming back. And you got to do what's right for your hotel. If that's what your corner in your town demands, then you've got to do what's right for it. There's a bunch of different models, and the costs get more and more expensive all the time. So we're really looking into what is the optimal way to continue to grow this segment, but on a reasonable basis. You and I know all the extras these days, and we're not planning any big changes to it, but it sure would be nice that if you wanted housekeeping every day, then you paid for housekeeping every day. If you wanted, a better breakfast, because there's the breakfast escalation, right? If you want to do muffins and granola bars, that's fine. Your neighbor says, okay, I got muffins and granola bars, and I'll do breakfast sandwiches, and I'll see, I'll see that, and I'll raise you an omelet. You get to this to where now you're almost getting a full service breakfast at limited service hotels, and I don't think that's where it was ever intended to be.
Yeah. Especially when you stay at a full service hotel and you're paying $16 to $35, $40, sometimes $65 for the breakfast per person. And us giving it away for free, I guess it really depends on your market. And that's what I always say when people come to me saying, hey, why is the entire industry not stopping this or starting this or whatever? I mean, it really depends on your market and who your guests are coming in. I mean, where are they coming from? Why are they staying at your hotel, right? And so I feel like there's a market in place for all types of guests and hotels and what you offer too. So I definitely appreciate that you guys are going in that direction as far as making sure that the owner survives, because that's what we've done this past year is we've all tried to survive and keep it going. And so what happened last year? Did any of your hotels close?
Sure. Sure. There was a point in time where throughout the Americas, we had close to 80 closed. We're down to, I believe the number, Rupesh, as of last Thursday morning was down to 7 total, and just, I believe, 2 here in the Americas. And there's going to be varied reasons why that may have happened. And then the rest would be Canada or LATAM, which are in some of those countries in Latin America and certainly in some of the provinces in Canada are a bit behind us when it comes to vaccination. So they just haven't opened back up yet. But we think everything 100% open by July. and then we hold our breath on hurricane season, like you do as well, being in Orlando.
Yeah. It's scary when that happens, but we're crossing our fingers. I think this year is gonna be a big year for hurricanes, but we cross our fingers
I know.
that we're prepared and things are going. So what does the summer look like for Radisson, and kind of not only the pipeline for development, but occupancy and guests coming back? And I know you guys have a rewards program that you guys are continuing to grow. How does all that come together to fill up the hotel and have guests and have the people that are watching have them back to a full-time position?
Yeah, it's we've been following a lot. We've been staying close with HLA and AHOA, the organizations, because they have such tremendous deep resources and connections with the government, both federally and from a state point of view, and even sometimes even municipally. We've been following mask mandates and guidelines and what we're going to do there. But we see, I said it 2.5 months ago, I think it'll be the greatest summer we ever had, especially post when school gets out. I think we're headed for a phenomenal summer. Our bookings are up. Our trend is positive. We're up for June and July, in some cases up over 2019 for pre-bookings where we were before. And certainly we don't compare anything to 2020. I think we've now changed the old axiom of hindsight is 2020. I don't think you want to compare anything to 2020. I think you want to say hindsight's better than 2020. So we look back at 19. We'll do 50% of our business, believe it or not, will be group. So we believe that that's coming back. Small groups are coming back. Smurfs coming back. Family reunions, are coming back. You're probably seeing it at your hotels. We're seeing that type of booking. I think the most overused phrase of the last at least 9 months is going to be the term pent up demand. So I don't even want to use that in context, but that is just, it is completely overused, but it's really true. There are places where we're all looking to get. I would say before the pandemic started, I didn't want to get on another long haul flight or international flight. I wasn't even ready. I was just like, I had done it a lot and wasn't that excited about it. Now, after being at home for a year, a 14-hour flight or a 10-hour flight or a 7-hour flight doesn't really seem that bad.
Yeah.
I can handle that. I just did a 12-month stint, in my kitchen or at my, countertop doing Zoom meetings. So I think it's changed our perspectives a bit, but we think travel will be surging back, especially we have a lot of drive-to destinations with Country Inn and Suites. And so we believe that's surging. Those segments are surging. AARP segment is surging, AAA. So we're just expecting a gangbuster summer. And, as hoteliers, we want to be confident, but, a little bit of fingers crossed as far as what happens after Labor Day. We need business travel to come back. That has to be done, and we need the Save Our Hotels Act to get through Congress so we can get money to the owners to get to their employees, so we can keep these operations, these family operations, these small businesses that drive the heart of all of our communities. We get them on solid financial footing, and then as you and I know, we talked about this off air. The other thing we need to work on with Congress, with AHOA, with AHLA is we really cannot. It'll be very challenging for our industry and for the growth and for the generational growth that's created from one family to the next generation-wise if 1031 rules are altered substantially. So I'm now looking beyond hotel business and thinking, let's fill up the hotels, and also thinking about, the livelihoods of our franchisees. You and I have spoken. I've done an enormous amount of 1031s in my past, even at the corporate level. And I can tell you that almost every one of those transactions that we did, it wasn't just me, it's not that it's all the team, but that we did would not have happened. We wouldn't have done the deals if we had to pay the tax.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we created more jobs by doing it. Went from a smaller hotel to a bigger hotel. Went from one hotel to 5 hotels. That type of thing. And so it's growth for the economy.
Yeah, and it's jobs for everybody. It's continuing. So for the folks that don't understand, 1031 is basically you buy a property, and then if you're selling your property and you want to continue growing your portfolio of hotels or a business, doesn't matter if it's a big or small business. It could be a restaurant, it could be this mom and pop gift shop, right? It could be anything. Now, what they're saying is, if you sell your property and you want to not pay the tax on it, so let's say whatever tax bracket you're in, you're not paying that 40% tax. You couldn't use it for a future property and you'd have to pay for it right then and there, right? Which could stunt growth for a lot of hotels, and that means less jobs for the industry. So, I'm supporting that we do not raise that minimum that we currently have, which is continue to grow our business and our industry, and that creates jobs, that creates tax, a lot of different things within the industry. And so, yeah, I definitely support that. Now, looking as you're continue to grow this summer and as guests stay at your hotel, how are you guys doing marketing differently? And then is safety included in that marketing?
It is. We have a global partnership. We follow the safe stay guidelines, that have come out from AHLA, but we also have our own partnership with a hygiene and a testing company called SGS. So we have these protocols. SGS is what it is. We have these protocols that we go over with the hotels on video calls and on Zoom calls, and very soon back to in person with our regional directors out there ready to engage person to person in the field, and to push the safety protocols as far as the sanitation. I don't think there's fatigue when it comes to cleanliness. I think guests want to see something extra that's being done. So we are still forging ahead with our partnerships. We have the certification. When the hotel's gone through, it will appear on the website as far as people know that they've been through the SGS protocol to for the cleaning and the testing of the cleanliness of the asset. And again, it's when you manage 100% of your fleet, it's a lot easier to get it implemented versus in a franchise system. But I think all franchisees want to do the right thing, and the adaptation to everyone's, whether it's our vertical or certainly Marriott's or Hilton's or Hyatt's or IHG's or Choice or Wyndham or whoever, everyone's got their own protocols, and I think that the guests want to know that these are being followed and want to see that in the marketing. So we're doing that on the marketing, and then a lot of digital direct. I mean, this is it's still unknown how much changes as far as where people look to get their information, where people look to get their influences. The industry kind of almost surrendered a lot of ground to the OTAs back in after 2001, and to try to regain some of that back is direct booking and show the values of being a reward member and guaranteeing the lowest rate and show it and being able to make sure that you're driving the cheapest cost of acquisition for our franchisees. That's really what we're after the most, is what is the cheapest cost of acquisition, trying to drive as many people as we can to the hotel's website, the company's website. And of course we love business from everywhere, but we like it when we generate it ourselves on behalf of our franchisees even better. So it's a lot of digital direct marketing and fishing where the fish are. I mean, if this certain segment's not traveling, we're not doing it. Thank goodness for, and I know you've seen it in Central Florida, especially is for youth sports. I mean, thank goodness for youth sports, because man, did they keep some of our hotels full. Oh, yeah. In the last season. I stayed in a Country Inn & Suites in Bradenton, Florida, run by Rupesh. It's a fantastic hotel, and is when I was there, I was never so happy to be woken up by a bunch of kids running up and down the hall, because at least the hotel was full. It was full. The parking lot was full. It was a baseball team that was staying there. Normally, when someone runs by your door at 1 a.m., you're like, what's going on? Now, these days as a hotel, you're like, you can stay up all night. I mean, just fill the hotel.
Yeah, and I think that's the plan for the summer. As more people get vaccinated, as more people feel comfortable traveling, I see the numbers nationwide. I talk to a lot of owners all over the United States, and they're saying that we're going to have an amazing summer. It's going to beat 19. It's going to beat one of your best summers ever, as long as we can get the word out that it's safe to travel, and it's safe to stay in your city. And I think a lot of those folks are ready. And so those teams and those families events and those weddings are coming back. I mean, I'm so happy that even last week at the Hunter conference, like everybody felt very comfortable, even with their masks on at a certain time. Right. And I love that we're all getting back to the groove of traveling. And I think that's what's going to really help us continue growing. For the folks that are watching, a lot of them are GMs. What advice can you give them for them to keep going? Because it's been really difficult. It's been 9 months or a year and a half now of maybe them working all the shifts at their hotel, the morning shifts or the afternoon shifts, or doing triples. I know a lot of GMs that are working their butts off right now, and they feel like they kept it going, and now it's the labor issue, so they keep it going even further. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, that's the tough one. It really is, Rupesh, because it's going to get worse, unfortunately. I mean, they've been going through the worst time in their entire career. There's no question. It's never been worse than this. But with what is transpiring to set up as the best summer ever, and that juggernaut of running into the perfect storm of there's no labor for us to hire, that's a real problem. I mean, that the executive committee in a hotel, they're going to be cleaning rooms. I mean, that's what's going to happen. And it's one of those things where, you want to get through this trying time and try to rebuild back as much as possible from the billions of dollars that were lost in the industry. That the individual owner of a 60-room limited service hotel on a street corner in, Melbourne, Florida, where I'm from and close to where you live, doesn't care that the industry lost billions of dollars. They care about, can I make my mortgage payment? And it's going to be tough. I mean, I think my advice to GMs is we're going to have to hunker down and try to find a way to fill those slots, but it's really tough. It's really tough to find labor in those most critical frontline positions right now. And I just hope that, I would say engage with your guests, because if you have that kind of labor shortage, you want to make sure that you address any type of issues facing the guests just head on. And if you engage with them right up front, it's like Rupesh says, that smile, good morning, how are you? Try to be able to identify them, or if they're returning guests, welcome back, Mr. Smith, welcome back, Mr. Patel, welcome back, anybody. When you say something like that and they legitimately, wow, they know that I stayed here. Well, yeah, that's easy enough to check, right? It should be easy enough to check. I make that personal connection, because if you are in the situation that 95% of the hoteliers are probably in with limited staff, there could be some shortcomings. Don't make sure it's not cleanliness. Make sure it's not cleanliness, but and try to keep your renovation noise down. In early in the morning and certainly late at night. And we know a lot of people are still finishing up renovations, trying to get going. But I would say hunker down for a really tough stretch to at least to the end of the increased unemployment benefits, right? I mean, we're talking about we're going to have to hunker down through September with these increased employment benefits, because some people have done the math and have chosen to say I'll wait, and we know that's true, and people have to make their own decisions for their own reasons, and I totally get it. It could be childcare, it could be tons of other things, but the labor shortage is real. I mean, you see it in restaurants. You're waiting longer for food than you probably are used to. I think everyone right now is like, I don't care. I'm just glad I'm in a restaurant. And then we're certainly understaffed. I think the idea of not cleaning the room in between check-in and check-out, unless specifically requested, I think is helping a lot. Yeah. But still, we all know on Sunday, brother, we got a lot of rooms to clean, and probably not enough people to do it. And so, it's going to be one of those, everyone shows up, and, in a family operation, what that means. It means the family's making beds.
Yeah, and on Sunday, I've given this advice to plenty of people. They're like, well, we don't have enough rooms and we're staying till 7, 8 o'clock at night cleaning rooms. I said, well, listen, how does your Monday look? And if your Monday is pretty slow, save some rooms for the next day so you can reduce that overtime cost for your labor. And so, a lot of people have taken that advice and they've waited till Monday or Tuesday to clean those rooms because their occupancy is not that strong on that Monday or Tuesday. Right. I see a lot of hotels that are weekends are very strong. And so that might be the case for the summer where your weekdays might be a little bit leaner. And I think that's an opportunity for all of us. Right. But I love this conversation, Jim. It was a pleasure having you on. I can't wait to see you back in person again at another conference here coming up. There's plenty of hotel conferences coming up this year. And I'm excited that the industry is getting back to its feet. And I appreciate you just keeping all of us going, because not only, like you said, you appreciated what I went through this past year, but I appreciate all the support and love that I get from folks like you as leaders in the industry to keep myself going, because I needed that advice and that following and that support is just as much as you did. So thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate this. And
it's a true, Rupesh, it's a true pleasure, really. With what you need to understand that people look forward to seeing what you're coming up with next, and you're becoming a star in this industry. On, we're an omni-channel, right? We're just across social media, and for me to, like, I'd never get this opportunity to be, on ABC or NBC or CBS or something like this. I mean, we're not the largest hotel company in America, but these multi-channels that you're on, and the popularity of your show and the reach of LinkedIn, people really do get up and, like, if you're having a crappy day, you look at your LinkedIn, you're thumbing through your phone, you're like, oh wow, look who Rupesh is having on. It really, I'm telling you, it just, between you and Glenn Hausman and a couple others of the one that's out, the ones that are out there, and the fact that you guys did the crossover show, right? Like Chicago Fire crossing with Chicago PD. I mean, you guys did the crossover show. I think it's great. You're both huge talents, and again, people really do look forward to your insights on your channel, and just the little inspiration. You are one of the most positive people out there, and if you have not subscribed yet to Rupesh's show, go make sure, put it up there, man. Show them where they can get it.
Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. There it is. There you go. Subscribe to the show. Every week you'll be able to get notified and be a part of special invites and exclusive bonus content that I'm going to be sharing. So guys, go to rupesh.co/show. Thank you so much, Jim, for that. Where can people find you, and how can people connect with you directly?
I'm at Radisson Hotels. We're www.radissonhotelsamericas.com. And if you want to reach me, it's jim.alderman, ALDERMAN, at that same address, radissonhotelsamericas.com. I know it's long, folks, but you only have to type it in one time. It'll come up automatically the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you so much. If you love this conversation, hit the like button, hit the love button right now. If you learned at least one thing, I learned a dozen plus things that I didn't know about you, Jim. And so that was awesome to hear your background. And please follow him on LinkedIn. Just type his name and you'll be able to find him, Jim. It was a pleasure having you on.
All right, brother. Thanks you. We'll see you soon. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, this is awesome. This is an amazing conversation. If you loved it, please comment that you loved it so we can continue bringing on amazing folks like Jim. I love the conversation that he just kept it going, and he understands what all of us are going through, because it's not easy that we are going through this part. We thought it was over last year. We're like, all right, well, there's no occupancy, so I could just sit here at the hotel and wait for guests to come in, and I'm okay running the front desk now. And now all of a sudden your hotel is full and you're still running the front desk. I understand. Jim understands. We understand how you feel, because we've been there before. We've been there where we've had to support each other. And so this is what I do. I love sharing these ideas. I love sharing these stories with you to keep all of us going, because now, like I said, not only does it help me, but it helps a lot of people continue their journey in hospitality. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. Here's how you can support the show. We already talked about it. You can go to rupesh.co/show and hit the subscribe button. Put your name and email address in there, and I will be notifying you for the next time I do a live, which is every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Plus, I am giving away a lot of bonuses. We're giving away $1,000. You'll be notified with all of those things that we give away. This summer is going to be amazing for the content that I have planned for all of you guys. And we're going to all continue growing together, guys. Thank you so much. We will talk to you next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Until then, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I'll see you soon. Bye.